All right, part 3. And what the hell were we talking about last?
We're talking about basically if it's okay to pass the mantle on to somebody else. Because the main issue we're having at the moment is that Marvel keep backtracking and getting it out, so to speak.
Yeah, we got sidetracked once they mentioned that Ted Kord needed to be shot in the head because he's not ethnic enough. Fuck you, your name isn't Jaime.
Just don't hide it, mate. Just don't hide it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the biggest issue that we're having at the moment, because now they had an easy out for Peter Parker with the Clone Saga. Now, for most people who haven't read the Clone Saga, it's a pretty simple. The gist of it is, it started in the 70s with the Jackal, and Peter Parker's clone, well, so-called clone, was left on the smokestack. Peter went on to live his life, and the so-called clone lost 5 years of his life, and then we established that clone is Ben Reilly. He eventually comes back to New York because they find out Aunt May is sick. Aunt May supposedly dies.
She's always fucking sick and dying.
She's old, man.
Ben,
kill her already.
Reestablishes a connection with Peter. Peter and Ben get a test. They find out that Peter's actually the real Peter. Well, Ben's the real Peter Parker, and Peter's actually the clone. Mary J's pregnant. Peter and Mary J go to live somewhere else out of New York, and he hands the reins of Spider-Man over to Ben. There was a nice little transition period they go through in regards to this whole story, but the one thing that Marvel tended to do with this was they milked the fucking thing for 3 fucking years. 3 years they had this story going on. 3 years they waited to pass the mantle over to Ben. Now, they didn't pass it over properly because they kept the character as Ben Reilly. Well, what they should have done was having him and Peter switch places, so Peter becomes Ben and Ben becomes Peter. And then Peter moves on with his life with Mary Jane.
Like a witness protection thing?
Yeah.
Like he goes under the name Ben Reilly and leaves, and
Ben assumes his identity as Peter Parker and says, like, me and Mary Jane split up, just ways to sort of write the other two out and let them be happy and live on their lives, And all he has to do is, every single time that he has an issue, you can always have him, like, talking to Peter and say, what would you do? Do you know what I mean?
So you mean, what would you do?
Yeah, well, like some sort of little semblances, some little paying of the homage to the past character and passing the torch. It would have been a rather simplistic and a rather nice laid out story, and would have given Marvel exactly what they wanted: a newer Spider-Man who had something new to bring to the table, and a Peter that was single, that was living his life and trying to re-establish himself, because this guy is not the same Peter Parker, but he does look the same and he does go by the same name.
Doesn't that, though, kind of paint a problem in itself, like a self-fulfilling prophecy, sort of? Because if Ben is the real Peter, then it just means clone Peter went off and you're still in the same
Mary
Peter.
Jane. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not really changing to it.
No, but he lost 5 years of his life. So that's what we get at. And clone Peter's with Mary Jane, and they're bringing up this baby, his niece. And Ben Reilly, the other Peter's allowing this to happen because he's not the same guy. He's not the guy that Mary Jane fell in love with. The clone is. So we've established all those canonical things. Now, what Marvel did with this story was they backtracked, because they went, you know what? We're not going to do that this time. What we want to do is we're going to bring everybody back and undo everything that we've done. As Tony said, they pussied out. So as soon as they pussied out, they undid everything, killed off Ben Reilly, had brought back Norman Osborn for God knows whatever reason, because he was actually the most historic death of a character in the Marvel Universe. They should have left him dead. But they brought him back. Brought Aunt May back from the fucking dead. I don't know how the fuck they did that.
If there's one thing Marvel is known for, it's that if a character dies, you're damn well sure they're going to come back in a few years.
Oh, yeah.
Captain America.
It's like, what is it? One More Day?
Yeah.
What we were talking about before?
Oh, God.
At the end of Civil War. At the end of Civil War, Aunt May's dead, and everyone knows that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and he meets Mephisto, and he just wishes it all back to normal, and everything's
all right.
everything's back to normal. The unmasking never happened. Aunt May never died. She's old. Let her be dead. She's ugly and fucking annoying. Let her be dead.
I don't think her being ugly is going to matter to him. He's not like,
It matters to me. It matters to me.
Closest thing to a zombie in the Marvel Universe.
Yes. It's like the
She's
Marvel
old. She's a widow. She has an ungrateful nephew.
Yeah, Marvel Zombies. She should have been one of the zombies. You should have
She
seen
should have
her.
been the main carrier.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No one would have knew what the hell was going on because she looks like a rotting corpse anyway.
Morbius comes up to her. He's like, I need sustenance. Wait, she looks already dead. Fuck this.
But that's the thing as well. As Nick was saying, she needs to die.
She really does.
She has no purpose. She serves no purpose.
She's just the last bit of family that he has.
Well, see, that's a storyline that I'm not necessarily the main guy that knows everything about comics and all that kind of stuff, but have they ever done this storyline? I don't know of it, where you finally just do have Peter break down. Like, you kill off Uncle Ben, you kill off his parents, you kill off Gwen, finally just kill off Aunt May, and have a storyline where he just goes, look, enough of this shit. The power and responsibility and all that, everybody's fucking dying anyway. I'm gonna fucking hit the bottle or something like that. And you just make him like the complete opposite of the guy who can withstand the punishment and laugh it off and be a little bit of a prick and responsibility, this and that. Make him just be like the drunk asshole Spider-Man who
Do like a demon in a bottle like they did with Stark?
yeah. Kind of, where it's just like, I guess sort of what Batman eventually, just when he quits with the Dark Knight Returns and everything, like, he just kind of goes, all right, this isn't working. I'm still going to be Spider-Man. I'm still going to help people, but I don't fucking care anymore. Like,
See, I think there is a storyline where he does like say fuck it and just rages on everybody, but he doesn't.
Yeah, that's
become a
during the
drunk.
Clone Saga.
Yeah,
That is
he
during the
doesn't.
Clone
He
Saga.
doesn't become a drunk.
Aunt May's really sick, and he just goes ballistic on everybody.
Yeah.
He's halfway like killing a thug, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
common criminal who just
Smashes
snatched the
his
purse.
face in.
but he
Yeah,
doesn't need to even go the angry route. He could just be like that kind of person with a death wish.
No, he's literally that as well. He goes into any situations, just jumps the gun, and he's like, "You people aren't worth saving." And he literally went to borderline.
If
Super
you do
criminal.
that though, don't you get into like a Deadpool thing where he's just kind of like, you know what? Hopefully, I just fucking die one of these days doing this.
But that's what he was like. And then when Ben Riley came about, it kind of, he managed to straighten Peter out, if that makes sense. He straightened Peter out, and he got to the point where these two guys were total opposites of each other, but he made Peter understand exactly what his role was. And he was like, look, if you're not happy with the way that things are being done, maybe it's time for you to hang up the boots. You know, just there's no point of you doing this. I'm here. I understand what's going on. And Peter's like, how, I've taken everything away from you. How can you still be so cheerful? And he's like, well, I still understand with great power comes great responsibility. And I still understand that there are people out there who love me. It doesn't matter, And he really saw the clone. Well, he saw Peter as his brother, which he never had that bit of family. And I thought adding Ben into the mix gave him that extra bit of family as well on top of it. And then they just wiped it all off and started afresh. And then, as Nick said, they did one more day, totally turned his life upside down and turned him single again.
Speaking of one more day, he has to go to Mephisto to do this. Why couldn't fucking Doctor Strange or somebody just bring her back? How many people can heal people in the Marvel universe? And can
But this is what pissed me off.
Lord,
Mephisto
Lord.
has been taken down by nearly everybody, right? If he had the power to do this, why the fuck did he take over the Marvel universe by now?
who? Mephisto?
Yeah.
Yeah. He has the power.
Well, there's always people above him. I mean, there's the one above all.
Yeah.
And there,
Yeah, but
you know,
Stanley's not in it anymore.
what's not in it?
Stanley's not in it no more.
But you know, like that's the thing that I can't stand when it comes to some stuff with comics is like, you know, well, even like not to keep going back to Batman and stuff, but Barbara Gordon gets shot in the spine. She's got paralysis going on, and nobody wants to fucking help her. Like,
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne's got all the money in the fucking world, and you've got these... Zatanna can just be like... All she has to do is say, stop being crippled backwards, and there you go.
Yeah.
I was saying that, right, now she's had some weird-ass surgery that was sponsored by Bruce Wayne, and her spine's fine again.
Yeah,
And
that
At
should
least
happen.
he fucking paid for that. That's the fucking least he could do.
And now she's Batgirl again. And it's just like, well, 1 second, what... No, but they never go into detail what the surgery was. It was just like, I had the surgery.
But, yeah, when it comes to, like, you bringing back Aunt May and all that kind of stuff, eventually you just should kill the character off. Or at the
She's
very
dying.
least...
She
At the
looks
very
like
least,
she's
kill the
dying.
character off for years. And I mean, like, Bucky years.
You know what? At this point, I'm so fed up of Aunt May. I think she shouldn't only be killed, she should be sodomized at the same time.
By
Just
all
so
of
they don't bring her back.
Doc Ock's arms.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a funny little thing in Spider-Man 700 where, well, I'm not gonna go too much into it, but it hints at
Say
a
it, because I know what you're
relationship.
talking about. Say it.
Basically, right, for those of you who don't know, spoiler alert. So if you guys are watching this, we'll have the spoiler underneath one of the tags or something. So
Nah, we won't.
your own fucking fault. But still,
I'm not
in
doing all that
700,
extra work.
Doc Ock decided to switch bodies with Peter Parker. He has an ingenious plan on how to do it. It makes no sense how he does it, but now Peter, trapped in Doc Ock's body, decides to go to Doc Ock's memories and figure out how he did this and achieved his mysterious plan. And he stumbles upon a incident between Doc Ock and Aunt May where she goes to him, don't worry, Otto, we can do this before the wedding. No one will know. And watches her have sex with Doc Ock. And all you see is a picture of a door and Peter going, ah! I don't know if Slott is just a pervert or he did that just because he thought it would be funny.
Well, poor Peter. They beat the guy fucking down so much, and then you have to add something like that. It's insult to injury. It's kind of too much.
It's far too much.
The thing that really pisses me off, though, with 700, we'll go into 700 now and negate the whole Clone Saga and stuff. They've decided to replace Peter with Ock. Ock has been a major Spider-Man villain, right? You cannot redeem Dr. Octopus. You cannot redeem... It's the same, you cannot redeem Norman Osborn. You cannot redeem Kraven the Hunter. You cannot redeem any of these major characters. But yeah, they wanted to redeem him. So they did this. He switched braids. And Peter decides to get the Sinister Six, a new little group together who think they're the Sinister Six, to help him, as Ock, get his body back. And they think they're just helping him kill Spider-Man, right? So at a last-ditch attempt, he's dying. He passes his memories over to Ock and makes Ock relive every moment in Spider-Man's life. Tortures him completely about it. And then ends up saying to him, you know, I don't want to leave this world to a villain. With great power comes great responsibility. Make sure that you protect everybody. Promise me. And he promises it, and then Peter dies.
The only person that I think you could redeem out of the Spider-Man villains is Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been the logical choice. He knows Spider-Man. He understands Spider-Man. He should have been that person. But with Spider Island, they ended up making him the hero anyway. Because he used the anti-venom symbiote to turn everyone back to normal.
Oh god, and that really pissed me off too. Like another fucking symbiote.
Yeah, but that symbiote's gone now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Spider Island story at all.
I didn't read it.
I thought it was something new, and I thought it was a great way to bring Kane back and to redeem Kane. Again, there you go. That was another logical choice. He's Peter Parker, but he's fucking insane and doesn't mind beating the shit out of people. And he's on the road to redemption. Why can't Kane be the next Spider-Man? Why give it to Doc?
Because he's too busy teaming with Daniel Bryan. Wrestling joke.
I really don't know what they're trying to do. Like, the new series starts off, and Spider-Man just instantly gets fired from the Avengers.
Yeah, that's happening in March, apparently. But this Spider-Man's a rather different person because he's Ock.
Yeah.
And, they even see it in Avengers Spider-Man, where he's walking around and he calls two of Peter's mates Fatty and Slim. And just sits there and he goes, oh, you know, I could have been a better Spider-Man than Peter Parker. He sees a mugging happen and he doesn't want to help him, but his arm comes out and clotheslines the guy.
I don't
no
get
reason.
It.
Like his body's reacting.
He's not even really being a better Spider-Man. He's just being a dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the dickhead Spider-Man.
But that's the problem. I think they feel that this is going to add a darker tone to Spider-Man. I think after a year of, you know, having this and watching the issues drop, they're going to just bring Peter back eventually, have him take back his body and have Doc, you know, just either be part of his personality or die. I don't see Doc Ock being Spider-Man full-time. I don't see it happening full-time.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't think the audience... I mean, they obviously had a bad reaction to it. And I don't think there's a storyline with that very long.
Well, he got death threats. Dan Slott, the guy who wrote it, got death threats. Literally, people were just, like, spamming his Twitter, spamming message boards, got his home address, sent him fucking letters over the post, saying they were going to kill him.
Yeah.
All over Spider-Man. It's literally ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, I don't see the sense in threatening someone's life over a story. But like, I can understand that why people are angry, because I mean, to me, this is putting me off to reading Spider-Man ever again. The last I read of the Amazing Spider-Man was like Spider Island, but like, I don't want to read a Spider-Man where Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man. It's the same thing with Ultimate Spider-Man. I stopped reading once he died. I'm not interested.
Now,
yeah, they even tried to. Now, go on, Samuel.
The one thing I had to say about that though is if you have Amazing Spider-Man's death and Ultimate Spider-Man death, I think the way that they did it in Ultimate Spider-Man, where the last scene is him with Uncle Ben, I think that is a much, much better ending. Dying as Doc Ock, like, telling him you need to be Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah. No, it seemed really rushed, to tell you the truth. That's another thing as well, because they had this whole scenario built up within 4 issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's not giving him enough time to have Peter transition from him to Ock. It should have been an ongoing thing, but instead they just pushed it within 4 books, condensed it, and just rushed the fucking shit out of it, just so they could say, "Oh look, we got a new Spider-Man now." They could have gone a number of ways with it. They didn't have to go the route that they did. That's the whole thing that bothers me.
The writers at Marvel, they're not thinking like all of this through when they do it. I think a lot of them are like, you know what, this will make headlines, this will get people reading it, and then when they actually put it out there, it completely just backfires on them.
Yeah, it does. And and the thing as well, you've got this whole marketing franchise. If you look at it from a marketing perspective, you've got Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, which is the musical they've got going on at the moment. You've got the Spider-Man movies, you've got the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, and no Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I think it's about time to take another break, and I want to touch upon the what do you call it? Turn off the dark when we come into the next part, because that's fucking hilarious. That is going to be what do we have? Part 4 here? Yeah, that'll be part 4 coming up. So we're going to keep this going as long as we have to.